Everyone, welcome to today's episode of Care Sandwich. I have an awesome personal injury attorney, Janae. She's waiting for us backstage and she's going to join us in a second so you can hear all about her and her story. And before she joins us, I'm going to have you watch this video to remind you what Care Sandwich is all about.
Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Eberline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care.
Welcome to the stage, Attorney Janae. Come join us. Tell us all about yourself. There she is.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Margarita, for having me today.
Thank you for joining us. So here on Care Sandwich, we like to honor attorneys like yourself that are doing great things, caring for clients. So how did you get into law and the personal injury space? How'd that happen?
Absolutely. And I love the name of the podcast because I am a lawyer who truly cares. And, in this field, we do have a bad rep for being pretentious and greedy and all those things. And so I definitely disrupt the industry with humility and care. And one of the slogans that I use here is we put the personal in personal injury. So I just like to kick that off after hearing all about what your podcast is all about. I just wanted to say that tidbit. But I am a first generation attorney. I am the first lawyer in my family. And so I didn't have a blueprint. I didn't have an example. I didn't have a guide. And so it was my English teacher in high school who actually gave me the idea. We would have great debates on Fridays about current events and things of the nature. And she pulled me aside one day and was like, have you ever considered going to law school or becoming an attorney? I said, no, never have. So she put the thought in my mind and it never left me. And so when I went to college at Georgia State, I'm from Georgia, born and raised. I am a genuine Georgia peach, I like to say. I took a few law electives, fell in love with it, and the rest is history. Took the LSAT and applied to schools, and I went to North Carolina Central University School of Law in Durham, North Carolina, and that's how I got my start.
And why personal injury? What about personal injury captured your attention?
So quite honestly, I always knew, especially being a preacher's kid, so my dad is a pastor, that I never wanted to do criminal law. So I didn't want to be on the prosecutor's side, rendering judgment and placing people in jail, things of that nature. I do believe in second chances. Outside of personal injury, my law firm does also handle expungements, where we help people get that second chance in life as well. So I didn't want to do prosecution, and I didn't want to do public defender because sometimes people are guilty and they need to be sent to jail, but I also just didn't want to have, that level of weight on me. So I knew I didn't want to do criminal. Family law comes with too much drama. And, I believe in marriage and unity and the sanctity of marriage, all the things. My parents have been married my entire life. I always tell them, if you ever forget how long you've been married, just remember my age, or I can remind them with my age. So I didn't want to do, divorce law or child custody issues. That would just be too much. That was also too weighty for me. So personal injury was kind of the thing that kind of was like, well, what's this all about? And so when I was interning at a friend of the family's firm, he had criminal and personal injury. And so I told him, nothing with criminal. Can you put me in personal injury? And he said, of course. And he had another intern there at the same time who was interested in criminal. So he got the best of both worlds. And I was able to get to do what I was interested in doing and fell in love with it. And the rest is history. So I started working with other firms after him doing personal injury, and then eventually opened up my own practice 5 years ago.
So you've been on your own for 5 years. And just to recap a couple of things, you used a process of elimination.
Yep.
You literally thought of everything and anything that you could do. And you thought to yourself, these are things that I know I don't want to do. And so now that you're doing personal injury and the expungements, you shared a story about like an actual person, that influenced that decision. I think that's really amazing. So walk us through, what do you like about helping people like that?
With expungement specifically,
Yes.
so there was a young man who had reached out to our firm. He was sent by a friend of the family. Young guy had, started out with the wrong crowd, but then eventually, he got rehabilitated, found his way in life, and just really wanted that second chance. He had went to college, he had graduated, but he realized he wasn't getting the same opportunities as his counterparts. And of course, once he asked, after so many chances of trying to get his dream job, he was told that it
Mhm.
was his record holding him back. And he had only that one
Mhm.
infraction, that one time he was with the wrong crowd, and he now
Right.
has this stain on his record.
Yeah.
And so I told him I couldn't make him any promises, but I would do what I could. He said he had hired an attorney. He had had it for a while, and the attorney was saying he was really trying, but he just couldn't, break through. And so I said, well, I can't make any promises. I'm also not going to charge you. Let me see what I can do. And so I made
Mhm.
a couple of phone calls, sent a couple of emails, and his record was expunged just like that.
What do you think that you did that maybe the other attorney wasn't doing? I mean, we're just guessing,
Of
like,
course,
what do you
but
think
it's
was different?
persistent. I believe it's persistence. I think a lot of attorneys
Mm,
sometimes, they get busy with their schedules and they're looking for the big ticketed items, that they can really be able to get that $1 million case or, a couple of hundred thousands. And so they're not looking to, help somebody out and do a favor, or even if they are, it's a nominal charge that they probably would charge him. So it probably wasn't worth their time. And that's the
mhm.
reason why I'm set apart and different from most lawyers, because I am a lawyer who truly cares. And it's not about the dollar amount. I believe that there's value in doing good work for people. And you'll be surprised. Those very people that you do that good deed for, they're the ones who send you that $2.7 million dollar client, that you'll eventually get in the future. I've seen it happen over and over again.
So let's talk about that, because I've been talking to a lot of attorneys right now in Q4 about how this is the perfect time to really slow down and think through remarketing strategies. So many attorneys think transactionally, in that I get the case, I close out the case, and then I get more cases over here for marketing. And I just think that's so inefficient. I think
Agreed.
some of the most efficient law firms that are profitable with very conservative budgets have very solid remarketing strategies that rely on good customer service, right?
Yep,
That's the foundation.
for
And then
sure.
some sort of follow up remarketing. And it's not just through automation, okay? It's not like just all emails and texts, but really thinking through, how do you stay in touch with people with things like gift giving, birthday stuff, or just, those touch points. So walk us through, how do you do that? How do you build on the experience that you provide as a caring attorney with remarketing in your practice? Give us some of your best tips.
Absolutely. So I am a firm that doesn't really do much marketing at all.
Mhm.
And I used to say I pride myself in that, but now I don't know if it's really the best thing, because a lot of times you are missing out on, bigger value clients and people
Mhm.
getting to know who you are when you market. And so it is something that is on the goals list for 2026. But
Yeah.
because majority of my clients come from former clients, it just tells the story of the good work that we're doing, and it's free marketing. We do a great job. We have great customer service. We make them feel like family from the start, and that's just, it's in depth of who I am. It's embedded in me, to just have that personal touch just naturally. Again, it could come from me being a preacher's kid, and community and people being at the heart and the core base of what we did every single day. It's just a part of my DNA, quite honestly. So it's not something that is taught. It's who you are. And some attorneys miss out on that point. They're very, very smart, very intelligent, well learned. They know the rules, they know the law, but they miss out on that personalized, customized touch point that really makes the difference. I go by the game changer. We offer second to none. Game changing legal representation is another slogan that we
Mm.
have. And so always just making sure people know that we are not here for the money. We're not making jingles. Like, we really care about you. And it shows not just in what I do and how I operate, but in my entire team.
Well, I'm going to reassure you with a couple of things that I don't think you're even aware of that you're doing right, that a lot of people are not doing. I think a lot of attorneys, when they think about marketing, they think about what I call top of the funnel, right? Like your
Hmm.
website, radio, like all that stuff is top of the funnel. And yeah, it's important to have a marketing mix that includes all these different marketing channels.
True.
But the foundation that you just described as customer service, that's marketing. The
Right. That's
customer
really
experience that
it.
you're creating, like
Yeah.
that's the marketing that a lot of law firm owners forget
Amen.
about.
I agree.
And when you have that as your foundation, all you have to do is pour gasoline on the flame and you're golden,
Right.
right? Like that's like a lot of attorneys are so focused on the top of the funnel, right? The radio
Yes.
spots and I'm going to put my billboard up and all of that. And there's like this big gaping hole. So if I could paint a visual for you of what I see with my little matrix brain, because
Oh
I
yeah,
analyze data,
absolutely.
right?
I'm
I
here
see
because you're the marketing genius. I'm not.
right. Right. Like I see the data, right? And the like, like in the Matrix. I don't know if you've seen the Matrix. I see the data and I'm like, oh, big gaping hole. There's a leak. There's a leak. Like,
There's
and
a
I
leak.
see it, right? And I see it. And like these law firm owners want to talk about top of the funnel stuff, about their website, about SEO. And I'm like, no, your customer service, you have a leak.
Be
Like,
a
why are you going to
human.
spend another?
Right.
So anyway, but I could talk about, so thank you so much for sharing those insights, because you're not aware and you're not giving yourself enough credit, but that's really good marketing advice that you just gave. When
Oh,
you
well,
have when you have a marketing strategy that, like, whose the foundation is the customer experience. And the other thing that I don't know that you realize that you have is you thought through your messaging. A lot of law firm owners skip that step. Like, what is your mission? What is your vision? And then like, oh, that's just fluff. I just have to know what practice area and go after the
right. They
cases.
focus on the research, the intelligence, the intellect. It's
Yeah,
so much more than that.
exactly. But your brand is solid. Like, your brand is solid
Thank you,
as far as
Margarita.
messaging, because you know who you are, you know who you want to work with. It's so clearly defined. And so now all you have to do is, execute it across different marketing channels.
Thank
So
you for doing
kudos
something.
to you. No, I mean, yeah, you
'Cause
did it. Like, you
I'm
did
just
that.
out here doing the Lord's work. I'm out here doing what I'm called to do, and the chips fall where they may, and they've been falling great, and I'm very grateful. But you're right, and I think I've realized that along the way. But thank you for making me realize it even the more, because you are a marketing genius.
Hey there, I hope you're enjoying the conversation and your sandwich as much as we are. I want to take a moment to share a few words about our sponsor, Marketing Boss. If you're a law firm owner looking to supercharge your growth, our team at Marketing Boss is here to help. We've got over a decade of experience and a proven track record, and we specialize in growing law firms like yours with data-driven marketing leadership. So if you own a law firm and you're ready to get a predictable, steady flow of cases from your marketing, let's connect at marketing-boss.com.
I appreciate it. And I love that you and I are having this conversation and we're talking about faith too, because I think that's important. I'm not going to call it a strategy, but I think it's a game changer when you're a person that lives with purpose. I can definitely relate. One of the reasons that I am doing what I do is because I saw that law firm owners needed something that didn't exist. And against all recommendations from all business coaches, I created this business model, this offering, because my heart was like, I can't not do this because I see it so clearly. Like, I can't not do it this way.
Yeah, I feel you
I
completely.
I joke that there are easier ways to make money. Like, I can launch an agency and sell video, websites, and just sell services, and I could probably do a pretty decent job. And I mean, I have done it before, but like this way, I feel like I fill in gaps and I do it from a place of purpose. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that, because I really believe that against all odds, I've been able to grow my business because I'm doing it with heart. I'm doing it with purpose. And God puts me in the right place at the right time, like all the time.
Every
Like,
single time.
even when it's the toxic client that really wasn't for me, even that I call God putting me in the right place, because they always show me something.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so let's
Agreed.
talk about that. Like, I feel like that's all. I mean, again, it feels weird to call it a strategy, but I really do feel like that's a growth hacking like thing to have in your business, to just know that you don't have to figure it all out, you know. And I'm a single
Yep.
mom too, so I'm going through this season of like being in my feminine, you know, without like a
Oh,
husband. And
yeah.
so, and I'm finding like God is like the best husband, the best CEO,
Come
like the
on.
best,
Best
like I got
strategist.
you, relax, go get your nails done, that new client's
For
coming, I'm gonna put them right
sure.
on your lap. So
For sure. It's the peace, that
yes.
really comes with you leaning wholeheartedly into your faith.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fulfillment that is really existent upon a believer when you are operating in your calling.
Mm.
Like you said, you can do so many different things, right? And make all this money, but will you be fulfilled at the end of the day? Are you drained or are you energized? I feel like you will be drained and you won't have the peace that you feel when you're operating in your calling if you're doing all these things just to get money. For example, myself, right? I love that I'm a boutique law firm. And I tell people all the time when they call me to try to market my business, to, bringing me all the way up to the top of the list on Google. That's great. I prefer it to happen organically because at that time, I think that all of the systems, all of the things that I need to be in place will be in the place at that time. But they're always shocked when they hear me say, I'm not trying to grow into anything massive. I don't want to have a 500 person law firm or, a
Mm.
100 lawyer law firm. I want to keep the personalized touch because I feel I will lose that if I grow into something massive. I want to be the law firm that people go to because of the customized approach that we're able to afford them. But I don't want it to be where I can't also lead with my mission, which is offering second to none game changing legal representation.
So let me blow your mind. Okay. I am picking up on a belief that you have that I want to deconstruct for you.
Okay.
You believe you believe that growing and scaling is exclusive and contradicts the personalized touch. With God, you can have both. I'm just
Mhm.
saying. I'm gonna
Yeah,
preach to you a little bit.
go
I'm
ahead.
going to blow your mind because that's a limiting belief that I'm picking up on, and that I find a lot of client focused, client centered attorneys have,
Mm,
where you believe and you limit yourself because you think to grow is to compromise quality. And guess what? I was there, right?
yeah.
And I have been finding, but the thing is, you never lose sight of first thing is first, right?
Oh, no. Yeah.
I'm always the first one to be like, all right, stop everything. No more leads, no more sales, no more nothing.
Right,
Let's
right.
focus on client retention. Let's focus on doing this better. Let's focus on innovation, right? But I also have found that when I think outside the box and I continue to prioritize quality, customer care, all of
Mhm.
that, I do find ways to scale that I might have not have thought about because I was just dismissing the idea. You
Right.
know, and
Yeah.
Google is a good one. I'm going to
Yeah.
give you a tip. I'm going to give you a tip. With Google, something simple that any law firm owner like you can do who's
Mhm.
providing good customer service is when you request reviews from your clients, nudge them, encourage them to, in their review, mention what sort of case you help them with. Because let me blow your mind, this is simple. They're already leaving you the Google review. The
Mhm.
moment they put personal injury, auto accident in their review, guess what happens? Guess what happens?
Thank you
You
to the top.
become more visible for that term because now that keyword is in the review. So simple. These are little things that like you can do. They don't cost money. Like it's literally just pivot the strategy just a
That's
little
deep.
bit. And I
That
love
is
that you're writing this down. And I can give you more tips later,
Oh,
but
yeah, I would love
yes.
that. But I wanna make sure, that there's clarity on a thing because there was one piece that I wanted to add
Yeah.
to. The reason why I say that I don't wanna grow into anything massive is
Mhm.
because I want to lower the caseload, but increase the value of the case. So
So then that's
instead of
massive.
yeah, so that's why I was like, it's not a limiting belief because it's not that I don't want to grow into anything massive because I will lose the personalized touch. It's that point plus I want to get
Love it.
higher value cases, but less cases a year because I'm a mother, I am a wife, I'm a business owner, and I'm an attorney. My first priority is always going to be my family. And I
Mm-hmm.
never want to be the traditional lawyer where we find not fulfillment, but we find ourselves idolizing. That's the word I want to use. Our profession and our career, reaching
Yes.
all of these goals, but we lose sight of the main vision, the number one priority, which is family. And so I don't want to be so stressed and so spread thin that my family gets to me physically, but they're not getting me mentally. I want to be mentally and physically present at all times. That's always going to be at the core base of who I am. So I mean it when I say, and no offense at all, but it's not a limiting belief. It's just what I am called to
Love
do
it.
in the earth. Yeah, it's that my family is
I
first. And
love it. So
to
then my
show
advice was not for you.
yeah, no, no, no. But I wanted that's what's like I want to add this last piece that I didn't get to say. So you were right without that added piece being there.
Yes.
But I want to be able to show, I'm on a mission, honestly, to show successful women that you can have it all. You don't have to be the successful woman and your marriage sucks, you know what I'm saying? And your kids hate you. I want to show the world that if you keep God first and at the center, and you don't idolize money and your career, that really you can have the fulfilled, victorious life that I think we all long for. And I am living that out. It's not always perfect, it's in ebbs and flows, highs and lows, but I truly can say I'm living the dream.
I love that. And I'm inspired to share this with you. And I haven't shared it in any of these podcasts yet, but I had an aha moment at a women's conference that I went to recently. And it was like a download, like where it became clear, like, what am I really doing with my life?
Mm,
And you and I don't know each other very well, but like I'm a single mom of 5 boys. Okay. And I've
wow.
had a crazy journey, like childhood domestic violence survivor, like all kinds of stuff. And I had this aha moment of I get to show the world that children are not a poverty sentence and that I don't have to be a shitty mom, pardon my language,
Right. No.
in order to provide for my children. I don't have to be disconnected because, again, the God factor. Like when you really do things from a right place, from joy, from an attitude of, I know what God wants for me is what I want for me, like the sky is the limit and it's possible. And I think that many times, and this is what I've observed as a childhood domestic, violence survivor and, growing up in foster care and all that, there's this belief out there that children are a problem, that they're a burden, that they're expensive, that they're this, that
Mhm.
they're
Yeah,
that. And that feeds into things like violence towards children,
for
like
sure.
neglect, like it's all connected. And, I'll be honest, like I was not always this like woke about my motherhood journey because I had a lot of healing to do. But now I get it. Like I was the mom that was like, I don't have time for my kids because
Yeah,
I'm busy providing, right? I was like the man, right? And now it's like, oh my gosh, no, I get to be the mom and I get to be this like soft person in their life. And then I can also do this other thing. And we don't
sure.
have to be broke. Like
That's right.
we don't have to have struggle meals and eat mac and cheese, and no offense to mac and cheese, every once in a while we have it. But, the grilled cheese bologna sandwich, like no, like we can have
Yes.
sushi sometimes.
For
Like
sure. God is the ultimate cheat code, right?
yes.
He really is. Like all things are possible when you believe in him, and your life can literally look completely different from what it was before when you really go all in with him. And so that's essentially what I'm grabbing from you is that you finally have gone all in with him and you have seen your life change significantly.
Mhm.
And I love that for you because you definitely can be the good mom and go after your career. You can do both, but it does seem impossible when you don't have him at your core.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we could talk about this all day, I'm sure. Yeah, this is thank you. Like I wanted you on as a guest to interview and I feel like I'm getting so much value. So I'm sure the
Oh,
audience is too.
yes,
Um
you're very welcome. And I want to say this last thing too. I
yes.
always say, so there's one thing, and this is, and now I'm flipping it back to you. You were saying the
Okay.
sky is the limit. I say the sky is not the limit because beyond the clouds and beyond the sky is a
Mm,
God who has limitless power.
infinite.
You infinite. You see what I'm saying? Beyond
Mm,
the sky, there he
I'll take
sits,
it.
whom
Thank
all
you.
blessings flow.
I love it. I'll
The
take
sky
it.
is not the limit. So
I'll
yes,
take
I just
it.
want to throw that back at you.
So, attorney, remind us about your case types for anybody that joined in, and
Yes.
how can people get in touch with you if they want to either be your client or refer a case to you. This podcast, the audience is primarily law firm owners and attorneys. So if somebody's listening is like, you know what, she's somebody I can trust with the cases that I don't take. Maybe the family law attorney wants to send you the PI cases, right?
Yes,
So
let's go.
what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yes, the best way to get a hold of me is reaching out to my office. My paralegal, Amber, usually takes the call. And the number is 404-645-7140. Or you can go to our website, jmlawllc.com. And please follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn. I am Jenaye Lawrence Peterson on all platforms. And on IG, it's jmlaw_LLC.
I love it. There you have it, folks. Get a hold of her. If you have a case that you want to refer to her, you know it's in good hands. And if you want to, have a discussion with her about your personal injury case or your expungement case, she's your girl. She's your woman. Sorry. Woman. So one more question, and then we're going to wrap this up. What is your favorite sandwich?
Oh, that's easy. A Publix sub with the oven goat boar's head turkey with Chipotle Gouda cheese with mayo on both sides and spicy mustard, lettuce, tomato, cucumbers, and banana peppers.
That sounds full of flavor. I need to try that. I've never had that.
You gotta try it. You're missing out. You're missing out.
And I love the Publix bread. It's so good.
So good. So yummy. Every time.
Oh my gosh. Well, this has been great. To those of you that have tuned in, I hope you've enjoyed the show. You know where to find Attorney Jenaye, and she is going to take care of you, take care of your clients. And we'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.